Okay, hey guys. Today we're going to be looking at the action bar UI element. Before that though, a couple housekeeping things. Hopefully you'll notice the audio quality is significantly better from the previous videos as well as the video quality. My apologies that the first two turned out a little blurry when I uploaded them for some reason, and the audio was just meh. But there should be quite a bit improvement here, and it should remain to be good quality for all future videos. There's one other thing I wanted to say, housekeeping-wise, and that is I'm going to change the format of these videos a little bit because the other ones were just so long, and I feel like a lot of people don't want to sit down and watch 45-minute long videos of me kind of rambling along. So I'm still going to be doing some referencing of the API and stuff. I'm not going to change that, but I'm going to have a little more structure to my videos here. I have a little notes open on my other screen that I can see. I'm going to try and follow those and split these up into shorter videos so that people can follow along a little easier and not spend hours of time watching videos of me fumbling around with APIs and stuff. If you're just joining us, you can get started by clicking Get the SDK and downloading all the Android development tools. We're going to be following this training guide over here. In the first video we did building your first app, and we talked about starting another activity. In this one we're going to start with an action bar. Just a couple things to note about it. The first being that it actually is included in a default project. Let me close out of all this. I was playing with some stuff previously here. So let's go ahead and make a new project. Android application project. And let's just name it Action, I can't spell. Action bar. Okay, there we go. I'm going to leave these all to default. After doing quite a bit of reading, I like API version 8 because it supports a much larger populace of people who own Android devices, and of course targeting the newest one makes sense. I'm going to pick Holo Light just because I tend to like that better than the dark UI bar, but this is just entirely up to you. If you want your application to have a very dark, sleek look, you pick dark, or if you want it to be a little more light, easy on the eyes, you could pick Holo Light. I would not recommend picking none because you will not get the action bar. There's ways to add it manually, and well, you can read on that on your own, but I'm not really going to be covering that. Let's click right here, setting up the action bar. Primarily, if you want to add it manually, you have a couple different options. It depends on whether what version of Android you want to support. If you're targeting just 3.0 and above, you have a specific set of requirements to make sure. You have to make sure in order, and you'll get the action bar. If you're supporting 2.1 and above, it's a different set of requirements. But there's no magic there. It's just making sure you have a couple lines included in your manifest file and so forth, and have it the appropriate style set, and you'll pretty much just get the action bar. But like I said, you get it by default if you use just one of the themes they've given you, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. Adding actions buttons we'll get into in a minute. So I'm going to pick Holo Light, and I'm going to keep all this the same, and I'm going to keep all this the same, and I'm going to leave blank activity the same, and I'm going to even leave the name of it the same. No navigation type for now. We'll click Finish. Wait for it to do its thing. Okay, now there's something I want to point out that actually confused me for the longest time here when I first started playing with this. I'm not sure if it's a bug in this Android development environment, one of their plugins or something, but I'm going to show you how I choose to fix it. So basically what happens every time you make a new project, it imports an underscore and then a numerical representation of the next iteration of this app compat library. And this is what allows you to use action bar and other newer UI elements on older devices. But the problem is that I don't want multiple of these app compatibility libraries because I don't really need them. So I'm just going to right click here and go delete. Check that to physically delete the folder and hit OK. You have to click continue because it's going to warn you that that library is in use. Now after doing that, you're going to get an error because it's saying it doesn't know how to find the support v7. And the reason it doesn't know how to find it is if you right click on this and go to properties, and you click on Android, it's referencing this v2_2, and we just deleted that folder. So what you actually have to do is click Remove, click Add, and select this one which references the one that's already included. Hit OK, Apply, OK, and now all these errors will go away. So again, I don't know if that's just a bug in their environment here, but the way I choose to fix it is by deleting every new one it adds and just editing the properties of this to reference the folder that already exists for the support library. And so on that note, I am using the support library, which is the default, which allows you to support Android devices, I think 2.2 and above. So that pretty much wraps up that. Now I'm going to get into adding actual actions. And all these are defined in an XML file that's inside your resources menu. So if you open up action bar here and go into resources menu, there's one file right now, and that's where all your items are at. Now you'll see ours actually has one item in it by default, and it's a setting. The ID is action underscore settings. The order and category is 100. I'll talk about that in a second. The title is just referencing a string resource, and that string is just the word settings. And show as action never. Now this is an important note here. If you come over here, you'll see there's if room and never. And so what the if room does is, let me pull up, well actually let's just deploy this. No, I haven't added anything yet. Okay, on second thought I'll come back to that show as action in a second. But right now this is never, so we're just not going to worry about playing with that one. But you'll see right here that if you want to add another one, basically just have to declare an item. So let's come in here and let's just copy this and paste it. Now one important thing to note is, and again this kind of plagued me when I first started, I had to do a little bit of Google searching to figure this out, is you'll notice these three are all Android and this one says app. So what this app is actually doing is referencing this custom namespace up here, this XMLNS app. So if you change this to app2 or something, you have to change all these to app2. And this is just a part of Android that you have to do if you want to support, again, older versions. And it does that for you by default. Just make sure that if you want to use the show as action property, you have to use the word app there. If you put Android, it will not work, assuming you're using the support library.